Good morning. So, I want to talk about asking the ridiculous. Einstein, at 12 years of age, one day asked himself as he was riding his bicycle, he said, if I'm riding my bicycle at the speed of light and I turn my lamp on, his little headlight, will it go on? Now that's from a 12-year-old kid. So it made me think, how often do we ask ridiculous questions? I think we become so ingrained in being safe that we only ask questions that we know we can answer. And then we know we can answer in a way that keeps us in control. Passing that on to our kids probably is a little bit of a disservice. We need to teach them to ask the ridiculous. Einstein became a changer of the world. And my hope for you today is that you will decide to ask some ridiculous questions. One thing I ask myself lately is, how does a person earn $20,000 a week? It's about $88 an hour, 24 hours a day for a week, because that's $1 million a year. So it's been a weird question. You know, how does that work? Because to me, that seems ridiculous. And here's why it doesn't happen to people. Here's why weight loss becomes elusive. Here's why I actually gained 5 pounds of the weight I lost back. It's coming off again. But Einstein and his work, they were experimenting one day after he'd come out with his theory of relativity and understanding, you know, his mind was light. They were doing experiments shooting energy through metals. And they wanted to figure out, was the effect of this energy the same in a little teeny field as it is in the big one? Like Newtonian science is the apple drops. Well, is it the same if you get down to electrons and neutrons? And what they found was they had different reactions at different times, and the same metal, same energy, and it kept being different, and then it was the same, and then it was different, then it was the same. And they were affecting it when they looked at it. It's called the observer effect. So they were, the mind, the energy around the mind was affecting the physical world. Weirdest thing. Now, physicists will argue that it only works on little tiny scales, but our body and our mind is made up of little tiny stuff. So Joe Dispenza said the other day, or said in something I was listening to, he said, so if we look at those little quarks and electrons and all that stuff that make up our bodies, the cells of our bodies, it kind of says, you know, we need to become what we want. We need to ask a ridiculous question. We need to decide we are love before we find love. We must become joy physically before it manifests itself in the world. The whole secret thing and manifestation thing, I don't really, I'm kind of dubious about it. But I heard something else that Maston Kip said, you got to have blisters before you find your bliss. You follow your blisters to find your bliss. If you want to change your physical world, you got to change the environment inside your brain and your body. And getting the feelings that you want, the feels, becoming the person that would create that unbelievable life that you want, that has to happen inside first. It's not going to be accidental. It's not just going to show up. And if you're constantly in an area asking questions that don't give you power, that don't make you feel good, and asking questions inside that are based on old traumas, you can't change your future if you bring your past with you. If you're constantly asking questions that aren't good for you, that aren't moving you forward, you're never going to move forward. So ask a ridiculous question today. Find something that asks you that's totally bizarre and ridiculous. Again, Einstein asked if he turned his light on his bicycle. He was riding his bike. First off, he's thinking about riding his bike at the speed of light. So you know the guy's getting to a ridiculous level at 12 years of age. But then he's thinking, if I turn on my headlamp, will it turn on? That's pretty cool. Find a ridiculous question. It'll give you back some amazing answers. And have a lovely day.